terms of avoidance and prevention, you sent me a very nice list, which I've been running, okay, on my Facebook page of all places, about tips and warnings.
Okay.
I think your list was primarily with regards to financial. That is, what makes an elder person vulnerable?
Okay.
Loneliness was one of the factors. The green dot, which I never heard of before.
Okay. Basic ways to prevent it. One basic way is just to check your finances. Check the credit card reports. Make sure that you can account for all the money being withdrawn. Because oftentimes, a criminal might not take everything, but might take $100 a month from you. Okay. One tip-off for financial crimes is that if someone comes up to you and makes an offer you can't refuse, it basically sounds too good to be true. If someone comes up to you and makes an offer that's too good to be true, that should start setting out some warning signs there. If someone says that, you know what, you were lucky because a company in the Netherlands entered you into a cash drawing through the Euro lottery, and you happen to have won $100 million. That sounds too good to be true. Somebody that you don't know from some lottery you never heard of in another country you can't probably find on the map, gives you $100 million like that. Just similar to those, like a couple decades ago, people were getting emails from the Prince of Nigeria wanting to move $100 million because someone told them you were a trusted person. Again, it sounds too good to be true. That's usually a tip off there. Another warning sign is if they want you to do something immediately. Oftentimes, criminals don't want you to get advice from others. So they want you to immediately make a decision. Someone might knock on your door today and say, you know what, I have some extra construction material, I can fix your roof, I can install solar, I can give you a new carport if you give me the money today. Usually a job like this will cost tens of thousands of dollars. I can do it for $2,000. Wow, that not only sounds too good to be true, but also they're rushing me to make a decision instantly like that. That's another warning sign there. Another warning sign is if they specifically tell you, don't talk to anybody else. That's part of isolation. And why do they want you to isolate you? Because then they can better manipulate you. We've had instances where you win the lottery, and in the letter itself, it'll tell you, don't tell anybody you won the lottery, because there's a lot of scams going on out there. So again, part of that whole isolation thing. I mean, my mother-in-law, I drove into the carport one day, and she was in her car talking to my wife. And so I didn't think that's too unusual until they were still there an hour later talking about something. My wife came in an hour later and said, what was that all about? What's going on? She said, well, my mother-in-law got an offer to buy Iranian dinar for pennies on the dollar, and then when the Iran's economy bolsters, she'll be a millionaire. But she was told by her investment advisor not to tell anybody about this. And so my mother-in-law believed it to such an extent that she had to, in secrecy, talk to my wife inside her car for an hour in the carport because she didn't want anybody to eavesdrop on their conversation. And
well, the way I put it
deal
is, for some reason, we all love to be asked to keep something secret. For some reason, we just have that feeling. Somebody trusts me so much, it gave me this incredible information, and all I got to do is keep it secret, and I'm going to benefit from it. So
exactly, and again, that's part of the whole. It's too good to be true. And the sad part is that, and this is what makes financial elder abuse so evil. And I don't throw the around the word evil too much, but they're preying on a senior's vulnerabilities. Because these seniors, they want this money not so that they can go to Vegas and spend it all. They want to leave a legacy. I mean, they want their children to stay in Hawaii. They want their children to have a house in Hawaii. They want their children to be taken care of. As a parent, the first thing you think about in the morning, the last thing you think about at night is, how are my children? And these criminals know that. And they have the smooth tongue of saying, you know what, if you do this investment, if you win this lottery, you won't have to worry about your children. And that pulls at the heartstrings of a lot of seniors out there who think that maybe their days are numbered and what's going to happen to their children when they pass on, and are they going to be financially secure when they leave. And so it's only $100 to maybe get $1 million. It's only $500 to get $20,000. I mean, so they start doing these cost-benefit analysis. They start taking these risks that ordinarily they wouldn't take, but they're doing it for their children. They're doing it for their spouses. They're doing it to make ends meet because Social Security's not cutting it. Medicaid's not cutting it. Pension's not cutting it like that. So they need to help themselves and help their children. And that's the sad part because these criminals will focus in on this. We had this one individual, he made $170,000 in 1 week. How did he do it? He just drove around the neighborhoods on Oahu, knocked on doors. He knocked on this one house that you could tell that the owner was not keeping up the property. There were signs of hoarding. There was like stuff hanging out the windows and stuff like that. And he was saying to her, you know what? I bet your family doesn't come over here anymore, do they? She said, no. Because you have all your treasures in your house, and they're always telling you to clean up. Isn't that right? Yes, it's right. Well, you know what? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to have holidays at your house anymore? Wouldn't it be nice to have birthday parties, to have Sunday dinners at your house, to have your house full of the noises and sounds of your children and grandchildren? And you wouldn't have to clean up anything. What I can do is I can build an extension onto your house. It'd be a party room, basically. And I can do it to you, like you can, for the next holiday, you have this nice big area. It'll just cost you $100,000. And usually a job like this is like $200,000 if I'm cutting you a deal because you remind me of my mother. And she always wanted to have nice parties like that.
Wow.
And so, bang, a check for $100,000. He was gone. He did the same thing the following week to another woman, $70,000. Again, he used emotion.
Yeah.
Again, he used her loneliness against her as a weapon against her. That's why these people that do these crimes are despicable. Because it's like kicking a kitten. I mean, it's like taking advantage of somebody and you know their weakness and you're just like rubbing salt in that wound there. And it's just ridiculous.